why you will never look like me, and why I will never look like you. My name is Ryan McIntyre. I am an online coach primarily who wasn't in person but now is fully online and makes these videos to educate people who obviously come across them, but also mainly helping men lose fat because it's such like a predominantly understood industry. And basically this video came from more, I need to move out of the way so you can see the title, but this video comes from more of client inquiries, because I feel like a lot of people, especially when you've been in the gym game for a very long time, there's this term that gets thrown around called body dysmorphia. And this is basically just a quick video to realize that no matter how hard you train, or no matter what you do, no matter like if you did everything perfectly, you will never look like the people that are on social media. Like, you can do every single thing that they're doing and basically never get to where you want to be. Like, you will never have the same physique as me just through genetics, just through everything else. And this is basically how to utilize this, how to track your own progress, and also how to be happy in your own physique. I don't really want this to be like, oh, like handy dandy, like, oh, be proud of who you are or anything like that, because I want you to push. But this is basically a small video going to be demonstrating mostly body dysmorphia. But here we go. So let's dive in. But important before we start, again, obviously I'm trying out a new kind of background system with with recording, because obviously you can see like my background's like now transparent. But important before we start is that for you to get the most out of this video, I would say to take notes like this hasn't been recorded, as you can see recorded, and you can only watch this video once, because by writing stuff down, it will stay in your brain and allow you to take better action, and it also allows you to save it for later at a later date. Because although this might not be what you want to hear right now, it might be something that you will need to hear in the future. And I think this video is important because a lot of people don't really talk about it. Obviously everyone's talking about the 5 best ways to lose fat, or you're not losing fat because you're not doing this, or you're not doing this. But this is more about why slow progress is actually better than quicker progress, which is a weird thing to say, because I think if you were to have really, really quick progress, you kind of fall out of love with something, because the moment you technically don't make quick progress based on your standards, you end up feeling terrible because you are no longer reaching your high standard. But if you continually make slow progress, your standard is on the floor. So when something kind of big happens, your standard goes up. Is a very small, brief introduction. I need to be careful not to let me move my desk because I will start shaking about, and I don't want this to ruin the presentation. But why this workshop is for you. Well, who am I to actually speak on this topic? I wouldn't really call this a workshop. I would actually just call this a regular video. But here's my journey so far. So as you can see, there's a photo of me looking a lot more leaner than I am now. But yeah, that was me for my photo shoot. I love that photo. You've probably seen it multiple times. But yeah, many of my clients and myself have constantly fallen into the trap of wanting to look like everyone they see on social media. But in this video, I will show you why you will never be happy if you constantly do this, and your fitness goals will turn into obsessions no matter how hard you train. You will never look like me, which is probably hearing that, you're probably like, oh, that's a good thing. Like, I don't want to look like this guy. Like, he's literally wearing a jumper to hide his physique. But as you can see, there's you can see me in the background. And also, I will never look like you. That's an important thing. And that might be a compliment to you. You might take that negatively. However you kind of take that, it's going to be debunked in this video. Like, you're going to see it in a different light is the best way to describe that. But before we dive in, I mean, if you clicked on this video first time you're seeing me, I would like to specify my goal, like what I do, what I'm trying to do, and where I feel like I'm headed. Because maybe you want to join me on this journey, maybe you want to see where I go, and that's why a lot of people end up subscribing, following, doing whatever, because they like seeing progression, they like seeing journeys. But my goal is that I aim to create fitness content easy to consume while also documenting my own journey to help as many people as I can for free with these videos on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever kind of social media you use. I'm there basically. But the information that I kind of gather and the information I provide is constantly changing. Like, you have to be very, very understandable is that opinions change. And something that I might have said a year ago, I might no longer disagree with. But the important thing is that I recognize that I have disagreed with that and contradicted myself because of constant updating information. I was going to say updation there. That's not really a real word. But yeah, so I'm learning as I go along. Just use what's helpful and forget the rest. So you can obviously try and test stuff, and if it's useful, you could tell me. You could tell me how it's changed whatever you were doing or changed your life in terms of the actions that you take from these videos. And if you like what I have to say and you want to master your progress or want to just take your progress to the next level, you can send a DM to my Instagram at Ryan McIntyre Coaching. I can't point because it's like only a square, but at Ryan McIntyre Coaching, where we can go, we can have a conversation about your situation and see if or how I can help you, because I'd love to create you a free muscle building blueprint. I think that would be super useful. And yeah, let's jump in. But what I mean by that is just basically analyzing where you are right now, analyzing where you want to be, what do we have to do in the time frame that we have to get you to where you want to be. That's just TLDR of the story, basically. But what will we actually cover in today's video? So this is going to be the subtitles. I'm just going to quickly take a sip of, oh, my cup holder nearly went there. Cup holder, sorry, not coaster, I meant to say. But why fitness is not a one size fits all. I mean, you've probably heard that so much times, but I want to see it how I see it. Why you will never look like me and why I will never look like you. Two separate sections. The danger of the comparison trap, why it's killing your progress, how to stop comparing and focus on your own journey. That says you need to get really, I'm not even gonna try, like I'm just gonna read it out. And obviously we have conclusions at the bottom there as well. I realize that the more I kind of record this, the more I'm just blocking the screen, but you don't really need to have the screen. The screen's more of a prompt. I wouldn't say it's a script, it's more of a prompt for me to think about certain things, and then I can kind of describe them in my own kind of mental spider web of knowledge. I wouldn't really say I'm very knowledgeable. I want to build my knowledge on certain topics, but yeah, I think anyone could be knowledgeable in a certain topic depending on how much hours you put in. But yeah, why you are here on this video is pretty important, because you're probably thinking, what is going on? Like, why have I clicked on and seen this very, very weird looking guy who wears a jumper and chains? Who's this guy to speak on this topic as well? Like, who even is this guy? But yeah, too many people get stuck comparing themselves to influencers, fitness models, and even their own past selves. And although I say it's great to compare your old progress to your new progress, sometimes the art of comparison, we instantly look for the negatives. Like, our bodies, our minds are inclined to look for negatives. Like, you could get 100 positive comments on your reel, your YouTube, whatever you kind of post on, but you can get like that positive feedback loop, but just that one negative comment is the one you're going to focus on and kind of wrap your head around and believe that is like the core of what everyone believes about you, which is terrible because we don't want to do it, but we do it. Like, that's simple as simple as that. But by the end of this video, you'll understand why comparison is useless and how to finally make progress in your fitness journey without also feeling bad about your results compared to other people. And at the bottom there, I've just put, you cannot copy genetics, because realistically everyone's going to be different depending on how quick you make progress, what's your starting point, how you're going to look in 30 years, how you're going to look in 40 years, how you looked at birth. Like, realistically, there's something different about every single person on this planet, and that is exactly why you should feel proud of where you are and proud of your results right now, because realistically there's only one person that's achieved the results that you've got, and that's yourself, because no one else is getting the same results. But why fitness is not a one-size-fits-all. And this is very important, because I know a lot of people, myself included, we copy like workout programs, we copy the nutrition plans, thinking we're going to look like these A-lister actors, like the superheroes or the jacked Mr. Olympias or anything like that. We copy them thinking just by their workout programs, just by this one factor of their life, we're going to look like them. But here we go. So we have chasing physiques. Obviously, we all know that before you even get into the business, I'm going to call it a business, genetics is going to play a huge role depending on how quick you're going to make results, how your body's structured, how your muscle insertions look naturally. And I'm going to say a bunch of stuff in this next section that's probably going to confuse you, but you don't really need to know too much. So your bone structure can be different. You can have muscle insertions. I'm going to show an example on the next slide of different muscle insertions of the bicep. We have obviously metabolism. Some people are just more naturally skinnier and naturally heavier, or they can burn a little bit more weight because they naturally fidget with their hands more and burn more calories. Just really, really niche stuff that does add up. And obviously height is going to make a huge difference on how your body is being filled out by muscle, because the taller you are, the more kind of muscle you need for your body as well. So if you're really tall, it's a lot more difficult to pack on size and muscle. And obviously everybody is unique, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, we should love our bodies and, you know, like the handy dandy stuff. I'm not here for that, because I don't want to be there for that. But yeah, of course, summary, some people build muscle fast, others struggle, some have wide shoulders, some don't. Again, like, you can see that through my jumper, you might be able to see like a little bit of roundness on my shoulder. Some people might have shoulders kind of more narrow, like they call it clavicles, wide or narrow clavicles. It literally, that bone structure can be a huge difference. And the people you see on social media as well get paid to look the way they do and continue to look the way they do. Like, their whole lifestyle is being paid to look in shape all year round. And realistically, a lot of the time, these people that are in shape all year round are not happy, because it takes a lot of effort to be in shape, especially if you are shredded, especially with your diet. I think your training goes downhill, especially like you see these people will be as strong as you. They might not have the overall aesthetics that the average person might not want. But let's move on. So, chasing physiques, this is exactly why I said. So we have, obviously this is a Jeff Nippard thumbnail. We have 9% on the right, we have 22% body fat on the left, and you can see, although this is the exact same person, you can see the difference in kind of vascularity, especially in the arms, or just the muscle definition in the front as well. So it is very, very different. Like, although you might be blaming on genetics now, you could look a certain way, or like this 9% body fat is not as good. They're not going to be as strong as this 22% body fat. You might think this person on the right is going to be way stronger than this person on the left, but it's the complete opposite way around. So it's about finding that kind of happy medium balance, that place where you want to be, where you want to look good, you want to feel good, because the person that's going to be under 10% body fat is going to be obviously super dedicated to that goal, but nothing else matters. Like nothing else can matter at this point. Everything has to be surrounded by this. Why you will never look like me. I forgot to put the muscle insertions, but they should be coming up soon. There's a lot on this slide about role of genetics. So first of all, we have muscle insertions and structure. Some people have high bicep insertions, others have low. And this just overall affects muscle shape, but also how much that muscle can be developed. So if you have short, it's easier to have more of a peak of your bicep, although long looks bigger. So if you have a long bicep insertion, which I'm just gonna show you now. But so on the left we have, where I'm blocking, we have short bicep genetics. So as you can see, there's more of a peak there, which this is going to be easier to develop quicker. You're going to see bigger changes in a short period of time of your bicep, and we have a long bicep insertion, which, as you can clearly see on the right, the muscle is a lot bigger, so it's going to take a lot longer to build up and build size into, just because it's bigger in size. But I mean, you could argue which one looks better, which one's better for muscle building. Again, what's the point of arguing, because there's literally nothing you can do to change this. You can have either, you might want the other one, but there's nothing you can do realistically to change that. And no amount of training will make someone's abs look like someone else's. Again, I would say I am very blocky in terms of my physique. I don't have abs, or not yet anyway. I'm not at a lower body fat percentage, but I can imagine my waist is pretty blocky, so it makes me look a lot bigger than somebody else if they got down to the same level of leanness as me. Number 2, metabolism and fat distribution. Some store fat in their stomach and some in their legs. It's just completely out of our control. And that's why you see so many people asking if they can target their belly fat, or how do you lose belly fat, or how do you drop fat in their legs or their chest, or you can't target spotted body fat. To lose body fat in a certain area, you have to lose it across your whole body, which might mean that your biceps obviously are going to get leaner, which you might not want to, but if you want to lose that belly fat, your overall body fat percentage has to come down as well. Lifestyle and training history, obviously past sports, injuries, habits, and even stress levels can shape your physique. Stress cortisol levels is super important for wanting to lose fat, especially how it impacts your sleep. If you are having high cortisol, it's going to basically prevent you from maximizing kind of fat loss in your sleep, because realistically, when you are building your muscle back in your sleep, with your REM sleep, your light sleep, your deep sleep, all these types of sleeps. Well, I say types of sleep, I mean types of cycles in your sleep is what I should say, because that makes more sense. That is going to be impacted if you have high cortisol levels, and that also impacts testosterone as well if you are if you're a man. Well, I mean, obviously testosterone levels in women as well, but men want to have more testosterone. Speaking of, this bit at the bottom here, we have hormones and age. Testosterone levels, age, and other hormonal factors impact muscle building potential. So again, some people can just be born with high levels of testosterone depending on your age. If you're similar to my age, where you are 20, 25, you could be in the prime levels of testosterone. This is where your testosterone should be the highest, but does that say that your testosterone will be less than you have now in your 30s or your 40s? Some people just start really late, but that doesn't mean you can't change these numbers. And that's another thing with age as well. is that although it's more difficult to build muscle in your 30s and your 20s, that doesn't mean you can't do it to the same degree. Like, it just means you have less time, realistically. But, and again, like I said, I showed this picture, 2 types of biceps. You can clearly see, I say clearly see a difference. I think it's more clearly if you've been in the gym industry a lot more. But yeah, that's like a clear illustration and a very good example to use, because it's just easy. Why I'll never look like you as well, because again, I mean, maybe I want to look like whoever's watching this video. Maybe you could be C-bum, I don't really know. But even if I followed your exact routine, I wouldn't look like you. And that might make you feel good, might make you feel weird, I don't really know. But your life experience, stress levels, and even your gut health impact your body. Very similar to the last slide. However, it's more that the fitness industry will sell copy and paste programs that ignore individuality. That's just because it's easier to scale for there. Like, if you are a coach and you had to individually make everyone's plans, that's obviously going to take longer if you just copy and pasted someone else's plan, gave it to somebody else, and just said crack on. But the idea is that you will make slight tweaks to make that feel more individual to them, and also more towards their needs, their likes, their dislikes. Because if you gave somebody one thing, although the plan could work, they're obviously going to utilize that plan in a different way. You could give somebody 3 sets of 12 on bench press, and someone the exact same 3 sets of 12 of bench press. However, one person might train a lot harder or train a lot closer to failure than another person. They're going to obviously build more muscle. And instead of trying to look like someone else, learn to optimize your body type. I think this is another thing as well, is that people will look to, instead of constantly building up their physique as a whole, they will target certain areas of places they want to improve the most. So maybe they think they have small arms, or maybe they think they have a small chest, or don't have abs. They're going to do stuff more of another thing, like more bicep curls, more tricep extensions. However, you might need to be doing less. It's important to be an essentialist when training as well, because sometimes you need to train less to build the most muscle, is the way I was going with that. But the danger of the comparison trap, I mean, everyone knows this already, let's just fly over this. But why it's killing your progress is that, number one, comparison is going to create unrealistic expectations. That is very simple, but chasing a physique that isn't meant for you is obviously going to lead for frustration. It's also going to lead to cognitive dissonance, I think that's the term. Is like, if you see something and it doesn't match what you're thinking of, or it doesn't match what you want to be, it's going to annoy you, and you're never going to be happy with your progress. Number two is it actually makes you overlook your own progress. You could have made amazing amounts of progress, but the moment you open social media, all of a sudden you haven't made any progress, or you've gone backwards. You might have lost fat, gained muscle, built strength, but you ignored it because you don't look like an influencer. Simple as that. Number three is that it ruins your motivation. Comparing to others will always make you feel like you're behind. I mean, even if you compare yourself to someone who feels like they're behind you, you feel like they're making progress or catching you up as well. Like, you think you're doing something wrong because they're catching you up. But many physiques online are edited, enhanced, or manipulated. As simple as it is, the simple factor is that I'm going to record a video of me posing. I'm not going to pick the photo where I look the fattest or the biggest. I'm going to look the one where I feel like it does me in the best light. Like, I'm going to pick the one where I feel like I look the best. And although I don't want to play into this game, it's just the way life works. Like, social media is a highlight reel. You gotta realize that. But of course, the lighting angles and even PEDs, I don't know if I can say what that stands for, because obviously monetization and that, but that plays a huge role in what you actually see in real life. Like, a lot of people say influencers look different in real life because there's no perfect lighting, there's no perfect angle, there's no perfect kind of camera to make them look the greatest they could possibly be. And here's a quick example of the power of lighting and posing. So we have me on the left in the spin studio in Pure Gym. As you can see, I'm not looking too bad. Lighting shine down on me. In terms of like shadows and stuff, there's not really much going on. Yeah, I'm just looking a bit blocky, to be honest. And as you can see, looking very concerned holding my t-shirt. And then on the right is obviously the photo you've seen before. Perfect lighting from a obviously very what's the word, very like certified photographer, very like very well established in the industry. Obviously there's oil as well to make it more shiny. There's obviously a little bit of a tan in that photo as well, and I'm also literally curling as well, so that I am posing, and that makes my biceps bigger because I'm tensing my biceps. Like, simple as that. Video, like, they look completely different. But how to stop comparing and just focus on your own journey? The fix is that you need to track your own progress, not somebody else's. Even comparing your own progress will feel terrible at times. I feel like I haven't made as much progress as I should 1 year ago, 2 years ago. But taking photos, measuring your strength, and tracking consistently will mean that you're going to be the strongest you'll ever be now, and compared to a year, 2 years from now, you'll be insanely happy with where you kind of got to. Number 2 is to shift from comparison to inspiration. Learn from people and don't try to be them. So you can obviously pick up 1 to 2 things from people, what they know. However, you can't copy exactly what they're going to be doing, because you have no idea what's on the inside, what they've been doing, what's actually built all that stuff up for them. It can be completely different. But focusing on how you feel, not just how you look. So your strength, endurance, energy, they're going to be the real progress markers. I think so many people are caught up with what we look like on the outside, not about what we actually feel on the inside. So you can look strong, but you can be weak, or you can feel frail, or you feel like your body's not getting the right amount of food that you should, but you'll look shredded, and everyone kind of promotes that. And number 4 is to build a physique you are proud of. So whatever you feel like is not maintainable for you, but something that is not easy to build, of course, like you want to put in the effort, but build something that only yourself can be proud of, and that's the most important thing, because you'll never be someone else, but you can be the best version of yourself. So my final message of the video is to stop wasting time and energy comparing yourself. The best transformation happens when you focus on being you. And it's that saying where keep watering your own grass, because keep watering your own grass to, well, I can't even say it, keep focusing on watering your own grass, then you won't be able to see that other people's are greener. So even if someone's better than you, you don't actually realize it. That took a lot more effort than it needed to be. But if you enjoyed this video and you want more educational style content, subscribe and hit that bell to never miss the chance to learn something new. And finally, the only person you need to be better than is who you were yesterday. And I've put my Instagram there once again, is at Ryan McIntyre Coaching, for you to send me a message saying if you enjoyed this video, if you want help from me, anything that you need, my Instagram is there. So head over right now, drop me a follow, or hit subscribe here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.